solve all the questions within 60 minutes. So quick answers for KSET 2025 exam papers. Listen to me. First question, identify the incorrect statement among the following. So first option, all enthalpies of fusion are positive. This is correct. We know that enthalpy of fusion means melting of solid into liquid. This process is always endothermic. It is positive. And next, option B, the magnitude of enthalpy change does not depend on strength of the intermolecular interaction in the substance undergoing phase transformation. So this option is incorrect because enthalpy change depends on strength. Next option, when a chemical reaction is reversed, the value of delta H naught is reversed in sign. Yes, it is also correct. See here, option A correct. Then option C is correct. Then the change in enthalpy is dependent of path. See, actually enthalpy is not a path function. Enthalpy is a, see, it is a state function. Enthalpy is a state function. It is not path function. Next, for most of the ionic compound, delta H naught is negative. So it is false. For most of ionic compound, delta H naught of solution is either negative or positive. This is also incorrect statement. See here, this is also incorrect statement. So option 4, B, D, E, all are incorrect. See here, option B is incorrect, option D is incorrect, and option E is incorrect. So next, I move to question number 2. Which of the following statement is true about equilibrium? We know that equilibrium is possible only in a closed system at a given temperature. This is correct. So all the measurable properties of the system remains constant at equilibrium. This is also correct. Equilibrium constant for a reverse reaction is inverse of the equilibrium constant, as it is also correct. These are all the characteristics of equilibrium. So option 1 is correct. Next, I move to question number 3. According to Le Chatellier's principle for the reaction formation of methane, the formation of methane is favored by first option, increasing the concentration of carbon monoxide. So if I increasing the concentration of carbon monoxide, it wants to consume carbon monoxide, so formation of methane increases. Okay. If you increases the concentration of water, so if you increases the concentration of water, system wants to consume, that is backward reaction is favor, so it is not possible. Next, decreasing the concentration of methane, if you decrease the concentration of methane, it wants to increase, so this is okay. Then decreasing the concentration of hydrogen, it wants to increase the concentration, that is backward reaction, this is not. So only A and C is correct. Option 3. Next, I move to next question. The equilibrium constant at 298 K for the reaction A plus B give rise to C plus D is 100. If the initial concentration of all the 4 species, they were given as 1 molar. So then equilibrium concentration of D, it is very simple. So here first they given that. So we take 1 mole of A, then 1 mole of B, then 1 mole of C and 1 mole of B. So let X be the, say, dissociation. So at equilibrium 1 minus X of A is formed, then 1 minus X, this is C is 1 plus X and D is 1 plus X. So therefore equilibrium constant K is equal to C means 1 plus X into 1 plus X divided by 1 minus X into 1 minus X. This equilibrium constant, it will be given that this is 100. 100 means 10 square. So 1 plus X into 1 plus X, this is 1 plus X square. 1 plus X square divided by 1 minus x square. Square get cancel. Therefore 1 minus x into 10 is equal to 1 plus x. You can get the equation 1 minus x into 10 is equal to 1 plus x. If you solve this equation, you can get x is equal to 0.8188. They ask the concentration of D. Concentration of D is 1 plus x. D is 1 plus x. 1 plus x means 1.0818. So option 4 is correct. Actually, common observation, we know that at equilibrium all are 1 mole. So concentration of D is increases to 1 mole plus x. So more than 1 only the option 4 is correct. Next I move to question number 5. The following 0.1 aqueous solution, which one will exhibit lowest boiling point elevation? Here boiling point elevation in boiling point depends on I. We have to calculate I here. Here potassium sulfate, I here is for K2SO4, I is equal to, here for K2SO4, I is equal to 3 here. For aluminium chloride, I is equal to 4 here. For sodium chloride, I is equal to 2 here. For aluminium sulfate, I is equal to 5 here. So which one is less? That is sodium chloride. Lesser the value of I, so elevation is less. So option 2 that is correct. Next I move to variation of solubility with temperature T for a gas in liquid as shown in the figure. So the correct representation is solubility. Here solubility S is inversely proportional to temperature. Here as S is inversely proportional to temperature. So temperature, here as a temperature increases, solubility decreases. Here if temperature increases, solubility decreases. So option 1 is correct. Next number 7. So 180 gram of glucose is dissolved in 1 kg of water. 180, that is the molar mass. Molar mass of glucose is 180. 180 is dissolved in 1 kg means 1 mole. So that is 1 mole of glucose is dissolved in 1 kg. So that is 1 mole. The temperature at which water boiling is 1.013 bar. Then boiling point of pure water they will given. So we have to calculate the temperature at which water boils. We know that from the diagram, from the problem we have to understand that for 1 mole of glucose, elevation in boiling point is 0.52. Therefore, you have to add 0.52 for this. 0.52 for this. So you can get the answer 373.67 is the answer. I move to question number 8. See here, if nitrogen gas is bubbled through water at 293 Kelvin, see here, if nitrogen gas is bubbled through water at 293 K, how many moles of nitrogen gas would dissolve in 1 liter of water? See here, for this we know that molar mass, here N, first you have to calculate N of water is, see, N of water is 50.56 moles. Therefore, N of nitrogen is equal to 55.56 into 1.29 into 10 raised to minus 5. That is both option 1 and 3 are correct. Next I move to question number 9. The correct statement about galvanic cell. So in galvanic cell, current flows from cathode to anode. That is correct. In galvanic cell, current flows from cathode to anode. So here when current flows from cathode to anode, electrons move from anode to cathode. When electrons move from anode to cathode, anode is negative and cathode is positive. So current flows from cathode to anode is correct. Here anode is negative. Say they given positive, but anode is negative. So EMF of the cell is always, for then it is for spontaneous EMF of cell is always greater than 0. This is also wrong. Then cathode is positive. This is correct. So option A 1 is correct. Next. Question number 10. The electronic conductance. Electronic conductance depends only on the number of valency electrons per atom. So this is correct. Next. For a given half cell, Al3 plus is converted into aluminum. This is a reduction reaction. For a given half cell, reduction reaction and increasing the concentration of aluminium ion. So if you increases the concentration of ion, so electrode potential increases. See here, electrode potential depends on number of ions, directly proportional to number of ions. So it increases. Then I move to question number 12. Match the following and select the correct option. So we know that, see here, for change in the conversion of Ag to Ag plus 1, there is a change in the only one electron. One electron requires 1 farad of electricity, 96,500 coulomb. For A, option 3. See here, only one option is there for A. A is equal to 3. See here, A is equal to 3. So remaining B, Mg2 plus 2 electrons. 2 electrons means 2 into 96,500 coulomb. 2 into 96,500 coulombs. So for B, it will be 4. C. For C, it will be, see here, C, it will be 2. For D, it will be 1. See here, it is multiplied by 4. 96,500 multiplied by 4, 3, 2 and 1. Next, I go to question number 13. Catalysts are used to increase the rate of a chemical reaction because catalysts show another alternative path of lower activation energy. Only option 4 is correct. See here, it decreases the activation energy of the reaction, so it increases the rate. Next, I go to question number 14. Listen to me. Half-life of a first order reaction. They give T of half-life is 20 seconds. And initial concentration of the reactant is 0.2 m. The concentration of reactant left after 80 seconds. For after 80 seconds, we have to calculate the number of half-lives. You have to calculate the number of half-lives. Number of half-lives is 80 divided by 20. You have 4 half-lives. So I will, for 0.2, half-life means 50% get reduced. 0.1. Reduction of 0.1, it becomes 0.1. This is one half-life. This is second half-life. Then 0.5, that is third half-life. For third half-life, 0.25. For fourth half-life, 0.25 divided by 2, you can get 0.120, 0.0125. 0.25 divided by 2, 0.0125. So option 1 is correct. Next, I move to question number 15. Read question number 15. See here, in the given graph, activation energy for the reverse reaction will be, activation energy for reverse reaction is always equal to peak energy minus energy of the product. Energy of product. here energy of product. What is peak energy here? 215 kilojoule minus energy of the product here is 90. 215 minus 90 kilojoule, that is equal to 125 kilojoule. Okay. Next, which of the following methods of expressing the concentrations are unitless? See here, mass percent and mole fractions, these two are unitless. Molality, it has unit. Molarity, it is also a unit. See here, molarity all are unit. Only mole fraction and mass percentage are unitless. Next. Select the incorrect statement from the following. Incorrect statement. As here, incorrect statement is 22 books have infinite significant figures. Okay. So you have to state A, incorrect. See here, A is correct. Then I move. In the answers of calculation of 2.5 into 1.25, it has 4 significant figures. So no, it does not have 4 significant figures. So 0 proceeding to first non-zero digit are significant. This is also incorrect. See here, B and C are incorrect. So in the answer of calculation, it has, okay, 1, 2, yes. If you add all this, you can get 3 significant figures. So for this option 4, see here, only B and C are incorrect. So A and D are correct only. B and C are incorrect. Next. Given below are the atomic masses of elements. So which of the following does not form a triad? Which of the following does not form a triad? First I check for. So triad means if you add the atomic masses of first and last and take average, you can get the middle one. That is for chlorine and calcium here, you can take chlorine and calcium. If you add these two, 40 plus 35, 35.5 divided by 2. 7.7, that is for potassium, but it is 39, so it is not matching. If you calculate for barium, strontium and calcium, lithium, sodium, potassium and chlorine, bromine, iodide, they are all triads only. This is not a triad. Then the change in hybridization of aluminium atom in the following reaction is, so here Al is surrounded by 3 here. This has sp2 hybridization. Aluminium here is present in sp2, but here aluminium is present in sp3 hybridization. So option is correct. See here, match the least one with the least two. Actually, we know that in oxygen we have double bond. For oxygen you have double bond. So bond order is 2. For oxygen you have bond order is 2. In between two oxygen atom you have double bond. Bond order is 2 for oxygen. And next, see here, for D option is 2. For D option is 2. It has only 3 and 4. So next I will check this for O2 minus, oxygen minus 2. For this we know that oxygen is 2. For O2 minus 1, it is 1.5, and O2 minus 2, it is 1. So from this you can answer the question. Option 3 is correct. Next, the electronic configuration of X and Y are given below. So which of the following is the correct molecular formula and type of bond formed between X and Y? So 1s2 2s2 2p6, this is completely filled inert gas configuration. So in the outside valency electronic configuration is 3 plus 2 5. To complete octet it need 3 electrons. Here to complete octet it need only say 7 plus 1 electron. So X is ready to form 3 bonds and Y is ready to form 1 bond. So X and Y, X has 3 and Y has only 1. So here they form a bond by sharing. So it is covalent bond. Option 1 correct. And next I move to very interesting topic. Combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement and disproportion reaction. See here, for combination reaction. So what is combination reaction? See here, if two reactant combine together to form the product 1, so this is a combination reaction. And next, what is a disproportionation reaction? Disproportionation reaction is one in which oxidation state of oxygen here it is changes from here minus here in peroxide it is -1. So in what oxygen it is 0. So in it is -2. Nodi, you see here oxygen only it undergo changes in oxidation number -1 to 0 and -1 to, so it is an example for disproportionation reaction. See here then decomposition reaction means, see here what is decomposition? See, decomposition means see water undergo decomposition to form hydrogen and oxygen. So next displacement, this is an example for non-metal displacement reaction. So option 1 is correct. Next I move to this. In the following pairs, the one in which both transition metal ions are colorless. So we know that scandium plus 3 is always colorless with D0 system and Zn2 plus is colorless because of D10 system. Completely filled D electron. So this does not undergo DD transition. In the reaction between hydrogen sulfide and acidified permanganate, we know that so acidified permanganate acts as a good oxidizing agent. So it acts as the oxidizing agent means it undergo reduction. Hydrogen sulfide, here acidified permanganate is a oxidizing agent, it undergo reduction. So here hydrogen sulfide is a good reducing agent, so it undergo oxidation. Hydrogen sulfide is oxidized here to sulfur. Hydrogen sulfide is oxidized to sulfur and MnO4 is reduced to Mn2 plus. So option 2 is correct. Next, a member of the lanthanoid series which is well known to exhibit +4 oxidation state is cerium only. See here, all lanthanoids exhibit +3 oxidation state except cerium +4. Okay, we move to question number 27. Here, in which of the following pairs both the elements do not have n-1 d10 ns2 configuration? See here, in silver and copper. So they do not. So copper, what is the electronic outermost valency electronic configuration of copper is 3d10 4s1. It is not 4s2. So and also for silver, see here 4d10 5s1. So option 2. Next I move to question number 28. A ligand which has two different donor atoms, either of the two ligands with the central metal atom in the complex, it is called what are ambidentate ligand? It has two different donor atoms. Either of the two ligands with the central metal atom, it can use any one. It is an ambidentate ligand. So next, which of the following statements are true about nickel tetrachlorido 2 minus ion? See here, nickel is surrounded by 4 chloride ions. So it is a tetrahedral geometry. So it is correct. Coordination number of nickel here is 4. It is wrong. And oxidation state of nickel is 2 here. It is +2 and it is +2. This is wrong. The complex is sp3 hybridized. Correct. It has I spin because Cl minus is a Cl. It is a I spin complex because Cl minus has low crystal field splitting energy. Yes, it is an I spin complex. So the complex is paramagnet because due to Cl minus is a I spin complex. So only option B is wrong here. So all are correct. A, C, D, E are all correct. Which formula and its name combination is incorrect? See here pentaamine carbonyl, pentaamine carbonyl cobalt 3 chloride. So here it has +1, it has -1. So 0, 0. Okay, here cobalt is present in, see here, this is 0, -1. So this is wrong here. So next, diamine chlorido N. Here they are not given the name of this ligand, so this is also wrong. Next, here this is potassium triaxalato chromate. This is correct. Then dichlorido. So ethena 1,2 diamine cobalt 3 chloride. This is correct. Only option 1 and 2 are wrong. So in this complex ion, the coordination number of iron is, see here, coordination number is nothing but the number of ligands. How many ligands we have? 3 ligands, but it is a didentate ligand. It can donate to 2. 3 2s are 6. So coordination number here is 6. Option 1 correct. Next. We start from question number 32. Match list 1 with list 2. So this question is based on structural illustration of glucose. See here, when glucose is treated with HI in presence of red phosphorus, it gives a straight chain of 6 carbon atom. For option C, see here, for C, that is matching is 2. For C, 2. For C, 2. See here, this. For A, I move when acetic anhydride. So when acetic anhydride, so is glucose is treated with acetic anhydride, it gives 5 hydroxyl groups. So glucose has 5 hydroxyl groups. When glucose is treated with acetic anhydride, it gives pentahydroxyl groups. So A is matching with 3. So option 4 is correct. Next, I move to 33. The correct sequence about alpha amino acids, hormones, vitamins and carbohydrate. Check with alpha amino acids. So arginine, aspartic acid, thiamine, glutamine. As here, aspartic acid, it is an alpha amino acid. Okay. Then hormone, insulin is an hormone. Insulin is an hormone. It is correct. Then glutamic C, it is not an hormone. Ascorbic acid is a vitamin. Okay. Then which is the carbohydrate? Ramenose is a carbohydrate. As here. Asparic acid, it is an alpha amino acid. It is correct. Then insulin is an hormone. Ascorbic acid is a vitamin and ramenose is a carbohydrate. So for 33 option 2. Next I move to which examples of carbohydrate exhibit alpha link in their structure? Here, alpha-glycosidic link, that is amylose and amylopectin. So, which is here in cellulose and glycogen, amylose and amylopectin, it is present only in starch. In starch, alpha-glycosidic linkage is present. So option 4 is correct. And next question. In the titration of KMNO4 against FAS. In the titration of KMNO4 versus FAS. So dilute sulfuric acid is used. We are not using nitric acid. So what is the function of sulfuric acid here? Here, sulfuric in only in the presence of acid medium, KMNO4 acts as a good oxidizing agent. But if you use a nitric acid, what happens? Nitric acid is a good oxidizing agent. It itself undergo, say nitric acid itself is an oxidizing agent, so it undergo reduction. So we are not using nitric acid here. Next. Here the group reagent NH4Cl and aqueous ammonia. If you add ammonium chloride and ammonia, so it will precipitate which of the following ion? Here Al3 plus ion. So this question is based on practical chemistry salt analysis. Here for confirmative test for Al3 plus, we are adding here original solution plus solid NH4Cl and NH4OH and aqueous ammonia. So this is the test to detect Al3 plus ion. Al3 plus is precipitated here. Next. Of sodium fusion extract. The purpose of fusing organic compound with sodium metal. See here. Actually, the other elements which are present in the organic compound are present in covalent form. So to convert covalent form into ionic form, we are using sodium metal. So convert the element of the compound from ionic, no, we are converting element of the compound from covalent form to ionic form. So option 4 is correct. Next. In sodium fusion extract is boiled with concentrated nitric acid while testing for hallucin. By doing so, during the testing for hallucin, for sodium fusion extract, we are boiled it with a concentrated nitric acid to decompose. Here to decompose. Here if you had sodium to organic compound containing sulfur, so it will be converted into sodium sulfide. So when for sodium fusion extract with organic compound, you are getting Na2S. For this, if you had nitric acid HNO3, it will convert sodium sulfide to NaCN. So decomposition of Na2S to NaCN if formed. The sodium fusion extract is boiled with concentrated nitric acid while testing for nitrogen, so you can get sodium cyanide, NaCN. Next. which of the following is not an aromatic compound? We know that it is an aromatic compound, anthracene. So this is also aromatic compound. Okay. So this 1, 2, 3, 6. So this is also aromatic compound. Only this is not aromatic compound. Next. What is the IUPAC name for this compound? You have to count the number of carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The name is hexa. So you have to give the numbering such that double bond will get minimum number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At position 1, I have, see here, count this. Position 1, 3. Position 1 and 3 I am double bond. So eggs 1, 3, 2 double bond diene, and at position 5 I am triple bond YNE. So option A correct. Among the following, identify the compound that is not an isomer of hexane. See here, hexane means 6 carbon atom. So, hexane means a 6 carbon atom. They are arranged in straight chain. I am not as cyclohexane. So, this is cyclic structure. This is not correct. So, hexane means a 6 carbon atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a here. It is acyclic. Hexane is not cyclic. Hexane is acyclic, aliphatic. So, all are aliphatic except this. So, option 1 is the organic compound. It can be classified as, so this is benzylic group containing Cl, so it is benzyl halide. Now see, chlorobenzene reacts with bromine gas in presence of anhydrous aluminium bromide to yield para-bromochlorobenzene. So this reaction is called electrophilic substitution reaction. The organometallic compound. See here, the organometallic compound. This on reaction with DTO produces. See here, this is the correct. Next. See here, here you have how many CH3? You have 3 CH3. So I am removing MgBr by adding H. You are getting CH3CD. Here D2O means deuterium. See here, this is the isotope of water. Instead of H2O, hydrolysis is done by DTO. So we can get this. The major product formed when 1-bromo-3-chlorocyclobutane reacts with metallic sodium in dry ether. Metallic sodium in dry ether, 1-bromo-3-chlorocyclobutane. So, we have butane, cyclobutane. Here you have cyclobutane plus cyclobutane. So, we are getting higher alkane. So, butane. So, you have 4 plus 4. So, 8. So, 1, 2, 3, 6. Then in between this you have cyclic. So, you are getting this structure. Ethyl alcohol is heated with a concentrated sulfuric acid at 413 Kelvin. Ethyl alcohol is treated with a concentrated sulfuric acid at 413 K. The major product formed is, we know that when ethyl alcohol is heated with a concentrated sulfuric acid, you can get either ethene or you can get ether, but at 413 Kelvin I am getting an ether. So option C is correct. Phenol can be distinguished from propanol. So phenol can be distinguished from propanol by using the reagent here bromine water. Here propanol is not answer for bromine water test, only phenol can answer. It's their pKa values. Higher the value of here Ka, dissociation is more and it is more acidic, but lesser the pKa, means it is more acidic. Here we have to arrange these phenol, orthonitrophenol, ethyl alcohol and picric acid according to their pKa values. Here out of these four, picric acid is more acidic, so its pKa value is very less. Out of these four, more acidic, picric acid first. So after picric acid you have paranitrophenol. Here after paranitrophenol I have phenol. So after phenol, ethyl alcohol. First I am arranging these according to their acidity. Picric acid is more acidic compared to paranitrophenol. It is in turn more compared to phenol. Phenol is more acidic compared to ethyl alcohol. So out of this, ethyl alcohol is less acidic. Less acidic means more value of pKa. So highest value of pKa is 16. That is for ethyl alcohol. So if we add HI here, next I move to question number 53. Which of the following has most acidic hydrogen? Acidic hydrogen is present in trichloroacetic acid. Here, what is acetic acid? CH3COOH. It is acetic acid. So in acetic acid, if H is replaced by Cl, CCl3COOH, because this Cl is bonded by 3 chlorine atoms. So trichloro, it withdraws the electrons from COOH group. So trichloroacetic acid is more acidic hydrogen. This is more acidic, this H. Okay. Which of the following reagents are suitable to differentiate aniline from N-methyl aniline chemically? Here. So to distinguish this, we are using chloroform and alcoholic potassium hydroxide. Here. To differentiate aniline from N-methyl aniline, we are using this test. So which of the following reactions does not yield an amine? Here, when Rx is treated with NH3, you are getting aniline. Here, when Rx is treated with NH3, HX is removed, you can get the product RNH2 plus HX. You are getting amine here, RNH2. Which of the following reaction? So it can yield. One is okay. And next for RCN also, this is Stephan reduction. Reduction of cyanide to RNH2. This is Stephan reduction. Okay. Then this is also correct. See RCONH2. So here amide, reduction of amide by using lithium aluminum hydride, it also gives RNH2. Okay. Okay. Then this RCN, reduction of cyanide followed by hydrolysis gives carboxylic acid. I am getting here RCOOH plus NH2. I am getting acid here plus NH2. So this is not correct. So only 3. Next, match the following. So this is very easy question. Benzene sulfonyl chloride is called Innsberg reagent. For list 1, B is correct. For 1, B is correct. Only one. So by observing only this, benzene sulfonyl chloride is a Innsberg reagent. So by matching this, we can get the answer very easily. See here, the number of orbitals associated with N shell, KLMN. For N shell, so K shell 1, L shell 2, so N shell 4. So 2 to the power of 4. So 2 to the power of 4 means 2 to the power of 4 means 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 and now connected 16. Okay. Next. According to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, the value of delta V into delta x for an object whose mass is 10 to the power of minus 6 kg. So when h is 6.62x into 10 raised to minus 34. I solved this question very easily. See here in my video, see the video. 5.2 into 10 raised to minus 29 is the correct. So, in adiabatic, work done is positive when work is done on the system and internal energy of the system increases. So, in adiabatic, work done. So, work done is always taken positive when work is done on the system. Correct. Work is done on the system, it is positive. Work is done by the system, it is negative. Work is done by the system. By the system is negative. So this is correct. Statement 1 is correct. No work is done during free expansion. We know that free expansion of an ideal, during the free expansion of an ideal gas, no work is done. This is also correct statement. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. So, for which one of the following gas delta H is equal to delta U? For this, you have to calculate delta N. Delta N means number of moles of gaseous product minus number of moles of gaseous reactant. How many gaseous products you have? 1 plus 1, 2. Number of moles of gaseous product is 2. Number of moles of reactant is also 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. We know that delta H is equal to delta U plus RT delta N. Here delta N is equal to 0. This is equal to 0. So delta H is equal to delta U in case of this. Okay, thank you.